Okay, so this week we're going to talk about organizing your Salesforce. I've broken this down into a few different areas. So, to begin with, I'm going to cover the key concepts, then specialization, then Salesforce deployment. And I'm going to break those three down into separate videos. So, in this video, I'll cover key concepts to hopefully keep those videos shorter for you and allow you to, watch them according to the content area that you want to cover at that moment, especially if you're trying to just fit, little pieces of the class in throughout your day. So I've also hyperlinked in the slides. So if you watch the key concepts and or whatever it may be, and you want to follow along in the slides, you can find the content easily. But starting with key concepts. So, general sales organization concepts are specialization and centralization. So, in specialization, you can really read here on this slide that you are going to essentially specialize in some task and be, excuse me, and be not as knowledgeable on others. So, as it says, performing some required task to the exclusions of others. But by doing that, what you're able to do is really understand those tasks and become an expert, which can help lead overall to a bigger benefit for the firm as a whole because you're becoming an expert at the task at hand. And in the next section, you're going to see how that kind of plays out. Another concept is centralization. So, with centralization, you're going to see at the higher level of the organization, especially in the management hierarchy, that the very important big decisions are made and that authority and responsibility is placed really at a higher level. And I think nowadays, like what you see is, and we'll talk about in just a moment, that as you go through organizations, especially a sales organization, you're going to see that salespeople are more autonomous and you're going to see a lot more specialization, whether it be within industry, whether it be within a product or service, etc. And again, we'll cover that in just a little bit. So, looking at really a continuum, you can have different, you can have jobs that vary on this continuum of how specialized you are. So, you could be a generalist where you sell all the activities, you do all the selling activities to and sell all products and services to every customer. So in that situation, you might be in like a geographic territory and you're responsible for, everything. And all selling activities would mean that you're responsible for new accounts and managing existing accounts. You could have something in the middle. So let's say that you are, it's some mix where maybe you're responsible for all products to all customers, but you're only responsible for relationship management. So you don't go out and get new customers. Maybe you have a counterpart in your territory that solely focuses on new customers. Or it could be that you're responsible for all activities and products, but only small businesses. So that would be some level of specialization. Or you could be a complete specialist where you only handle new business for a certain group of products to a certain industry of customers. So there are varying degrees of this, and it really depends what makes the most sense for your organization. And in the next section, we're going to talk about specifically some different ways that we can organize our sales force. Another important concept, and this goes kind of to the centralization concept, is how the organization is structured in terms of a sales organization. So, in terms of a sales organization, how much control does the sales manager have over the next level of management? And so when I show you this of a flat organization, this is purely an example. A flat organization does not mean there are 2 management levels. It means that there are fewer management levels. And with fewer management levels, then, and I'll show you more management levels on the next slide, with fewer management levels, the amount of control or the span of control that national manager has and each of those district managers' day-to-day business or districts or something is greater. So write this down. The fewer management levels, the greater the span of control. You probably see this more in smaller organizations. As organizations grow, naturally, the national sales manager is not going to be able to have as big a part of each district sales manager's district. Not that they won't at all. It's just you're going to have to delegate responsibility as the organization grows. If I have, let's say, 2,000 salespeople working for me and 20 districts, I'm going to have delegation, where I'm trusting my district sales manager. And there's probably another level between there to, with the day-to-day task. And I'm looking at the higher level, the strategy, where we're going, that kind of stuff. So again, you'd probably see this flat sales organization in a smaller company. As the company goes, you may see an organizational structure. So this is an organizational chart that looks more like this. So you're going to see more management levels, but less span of control. So, like I said, there's going to be some delegation. So this would be called a tall sales organization. You're going to have the national sales manager. Then under them, you're maybe having a regional sales manager. And it's not that there's just 3 levels, because these district sales managers may have a sales manager underneath them. This is just purely an example. So, but what you see here is as the management levels increase, span of control decreases. So as the management levels go up, then of course the national sales manager is going to be involved less really on a daily basis or maybe even weekly basis and with what's happening in every single district in a more detailed way. That's why you have those regional sales managers. Because a regional sales manager handling 3 district sales managers, and likely there's more districts or there's more regional sales managers, but they're going to have more of that responsibility of the day-to-day. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, drop me an email and let me know. The other concept to understand is a line versus a staff position. So again, this is an example, but you can think of a line position. So the line positions are going to be this national, regional, district sales manager, and your salespeople. It's those people that ultimately touch the customer. So they're, not to say anything negative against the staff position, because that's not what I'm trying to say, They are a primary function down to the customer. Now, the sales training managers that you see there, they're going to be support functions. And there would be other examples of support functions, but support functions for the line position. So this is just going to the big high level. Okay, let's say I'm organizing a sales force. What are the things, or a sales organization, what are the things I have to think about? Well, you've got to think about specialization versus centralization, management levels needed, how many line positions versus staff positions do I need? And so you might have another staff position that might be like a recruiter. So going out and recruiting salespeople. And maybe they're under the regional or national or district sales manager. So those are examples of those. The next thing we're going to talk about is specialization, and we'll get into different types of sales organizations and how you can use those for specialization or even centralization.